So my dad was a chemist, and there was one day.
Deny that allegation.
So here's the deal. I've got into paramotoring. Do you have any idea what this is?
No, that sounds amazing.
So it's pretty. We'll call it a parachute.
Like this video and subscribe to me.
You were more afraid.
Like, when you look at it this way, when me sitting down, I look fucking huge. But like when I stand up, a lot of it goes away. You know, like I'm really close to the camera. Like the further I get back, you know.
441.
You know, with the Columbus Day thing and everyone shitting on Columbus Day, you know, I have this opinion that there were just a bunch of savages here and they needed a good killing, and so that we could have all this land, so that we could make something real cool. We could bring the modern civilized world here. They were
Manifest Destiny.
Manifest Destiny. Thank you. I'll get that tattooed somewhere. I'll put that and like get that crying Indian with Manifest Destiny right on it, because those people needed a good massacring. They needed some genocide. Like, first of all, we only killed like 10-15% of them with guns and you know, fists and knives and shit. Most of it was disease. Don't forget the smallpox plates. Most of it was disease.
Like
and,
yeah.
Okay, we weaponized a little smallpox, but mostly it was accidental disease that got them.
5% off. Story City Council.
I get cold sores, right? No, stick with me here. I get cold sores, which is like type 1 herpes or whatever. It's not and I went down on a girl and her genitals broke out with herpes, right? But it wasn't permanent genital herpes. It was just type 1 jumping off on her for a week, and now she's all good.
Not sure that's how that works. But
That's exactly how it works.
It's like the garbage making stars.
Get out of here with that
thing.
chiz. Google that shit. Don't you just nonchalantly be like herpes.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Is not just herpes. Like sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't know enough about herpes to refute that
guy.
But that doesn't sound like herpes can jump off your lip onto a box and.
No, Kyle, I don't know enough to dispute any of this, but I don't believe it.
If I love and receive it, you totally have to be cognizant of that and aware of that if you want to have a healthy relationship, which is why our gentleman with herpes, or not herpes, he has to identify that with him. Come on, man. He's good.
Now go home and
I
don't
hope
turn
I
your
am a
lights
little
on.
Jewish, because I think sometimes I come off as anti-Semitic, but there's just a lot to mock
sometimes.
there. Yes, only sometimes. I just like, you know,
Only
I'm
on Thursday
looking for a
nights.
laugh.
Yeah.
Every Thursday night,
As far
I
as
get a
we
little
know.
area. But that's why I'm really hoping this DNA test comes back and I'm like 15% Jewish, 15% Native American.
You just want
15%.
like every version of Hood Pass that exists.
Absolutely.
We got to get some Indian in there.
I really hope I
Asian
get some
Indian,
Indian.
whatever you call them.
Oh, nah. Them.
You can make a lot of fun of them.
They are not part of our demographic. Fuck those street shitting savages. 1 billion of them. They have a nuclear program, a space program, but they're shitting in the streets in mass. Please.
They did something like in Civ where you skip something you were supposed to research and you go straight to the next thing to save time. They're like, do we have time to get to toilets? No, we must get up in the space race. You know, like
skip the toilet part on the technology tree and just kept going ahead. Shit.
Yeah. We'll go back for it eventually. We gotta get to the moon.
That's good.
Culture victory's off the table, don't you see?
Oh, there were a lot more Jews.
I thought there were 14
I don't know. I've met quite a few Jewish people. You know, I didn't know they were rare. I didn't know it was like finding a leprechaun.
It didn't seem rare growing up. Like I had my
No.
parents were Jewish.
Well,
and
there were 7
You're in New
million
Jersey.
were killed in World War II, in the Holocaust, I should say.
Yeah, and when you
7
think
million.
about that
That's
number,
crazy, yeah.
compared to 14 million now, like that's an insane number considering how small the group of Jewish people currently alive is. Like that's pretty much a guarantee that every single Jewish person alive has at least one, if not multiple, family members who were killed in the Holocaust.
They
You
should
know,
lead with that. That should be the first thing. Like their PR team needs to get on that. Like whenever they're talking about, you know, more money for Israel or defending our support of Israel, no one ever mentions it. Like, hey, there's not many of them left. Like this is kind of their last bastion. This and like Manhattan and little New Jersey, and all of Hollywood and all the news media and the new world order that controls the giant cabal. And
all right, Kyle, you're going into a different direction here. Yeah.
Thick black hair all over.
Right.
And I was always self-conscious of that. Thank you. And I remember that you said that you liked it because you felt that it meant that I had more. You said it meant that I had more testosterone, and that's why I like sex.
Pause. Dude, I'm not alone. This is Jimmy Kimmel.
this is Jimmy Kimmel trying to make his girlfriend Sarah Silverman not feel uncomfortable and embarrassed about how hairy she is.
I disagree. I think
I
know
it's
you do.
absolutely what it's
No. See, you guys don't understand high tea appreciation, but Jimmy and I, we do.
All right, so I need some background on this. Tell me about high tea appreciation.
Okay, so here's the deal. Over the years of Painkiller already, as I define features that I think are cool in women, it's become clear that
Woody's gay.
they're pretty guy-like.
It's great.
I know what that's like. That's rough. That's
Kyle's
rough.
joke was great.
She didn't look. She looked at least 13. Costa Rica, man, so strict.
The way that I interact with people, like my son is a physical love guy. He always wants to wrestle. He always wants, like, that's just like, he likes that. He likes being roughhoused and stuff like that. I know it sounds pedo, but that's like the way it is.
No, it's your kid.
Okay, maybe only I think of it as pedo. Maybe that's telling. Anyway, my daughter, on the other hand, is a words person.
She doesn't like it when you touch her.
No, she does. Weird.
She protests loudly.
She always gets away.
Come on, come wrestle with daddy.
I feel like
she always.
I
gets
feel
away.
like she
Smile for the
tolerates it.
camera.
That was so much of his message. Jesus. I'm not a
what did those
religious
angels
guy,
do? But what did those angels do to those gay guys that were outside of Lot's house?
the gay guys. There
Yeah,
weren't any
remember
gay guys at Lot's house.
Yeah. Remember, Lot offered them his virgin daughters, but the men outside were much more interested in the good-looking angel folk. Those were gay guys. It was a mob of gay rapists.
I don't know about the canon of this.
What?
I think that it was that Lot offered the girls to be raped so that they wouldn't come in and try to kill the angels. I don't think they were trying to have relations with the angels. But maybe they say that the Spirit reveals himself and that you can see things into the Word that you otherwise hadn't been able to. And so maybe Christ has revealed himself to you, Kyle, and you have now an obligation to spread the true word.
I'm telling you, I'll Google it right now. I think I've got a Bible story you're not aware of. I'm 1,000%. Let's see.
I think Taylor
Angels
told this Bible story, didn't he, on the show?
Yeah, we've talked about Lot before. Yeah. And then Kyle brought up the pillar of salt, where Miriam or whatever his wife's name is, they're leaving the city, and he turns back. She turns to salt, and then he has to just kind of be like, "All right, well, I guess I'm leaving my pillar of salt wife here. You get forge ahead, kids."
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, they wanted to rape those guys.
You're right.
They did want to rape the angels?
Yeah. There you go.
Man, holy shit, the Bible's weird.
It's an interesting book, and yeah, it is weird. How are we to take the fact that Lot offered his daughters for rape? Oh, I love these rash, horrible. In Genesis, two angels visited Sodom and Gomorrah to check what's what. The residents of the town wanted to rape the angels, Kyle, well done, who had visited the most virtuous man in town, Lot. Lot, to protect the angels, offered his two daughters to rape. But before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, both young and old, all the people of the last man, surrounded the house. And they called to Lot, "Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us that we may know them." Lot went out to the men at the entrance, shut the door after him, and said, "I beg you, my brothers, do not act so wickedly. Behold, I have two daughters who have not yet known any man. Let me bring them out to you and do to them as you please. Only do nothing to these men, for they have come under the shelter of my roof." Genesis 19:4-8. Okay, Kyle, you are 100% on the money.
Hey, and don't feel too sorry for those daughters, because right after all of this, like maybe 3 days later, they got Lot all drunk and fucked him because they thought they were the last people in the world and they needed to make some new babies.
True, and at the last second, they didn't end up getting raped. So he didn't give them out there at the last second after being traumatized and probably afraid of their piece of shit dad for the rest of their life. they didn't have to actually.
I hope my mom watches this part of the show, because like we're literally not we, but like we're reading the Bible, because often she's like, I have issues with Taylor's Bible interpretations. He's leaving this out, and I think that the guy with the hairy arm was much more goat-like than you gave him credit for, and my mom, didn't like that part.
Jacob and Esau.
Yeah. And if people don't know, I guess his brother was hairy, so he like skinned a goat, put it on his arm, and tricked his feeble dad into thinking he was his brother, or something like that.
Yeah.
My mom was like, no, the guy was very goat-like. It was a reasonable ploy.
Man.
It was a reasonable ploy. You should ask your mom how many people were on the planet at the time. There weren't a lot of masterful rusemen out there teaching tricks to people. It was just, there were, the population density at the time was like 0.000000001 people per square mile, and they were all in one area.
Yeah, it just seems like God was a bit of an asshole in this situation with the whole pillars of salt and the raping and the it's.
He's an asshole in so many situations.
Experts believe set up by President Snow. I'm so proud of you. Courage. You just went. Nice job. Thumbs up for you.
If you are new, thank you for supporting the anime art form.
Yeah. テンポを速めて大槌を叩いていく。
Weather answers when action news comes.
Daily uploads. You heard it right, folks. Daily uploads, baby.